Hi, everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of Let's Get Tender, Money Conversations That Matter on the Empowered Business Channel. We thought it would be fun to kick off this first show where I have the absolute honor and pleasure of being interviewed and introduced as your host by the amazing owner of RHG-TV Network, home of this podcast, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter. Rebecca is the founder of Your Purpose-Driven Practice and the CEO of RHG Media Productions. She's also the author of the foreword in my brand new book, MONEYWINGS, released just 6 weeks ago. You'll hear more about that in the exclusive interview you're about to watch. In this special episode, you'll discover what you can look forward to in this weekly podcast. You'll hear why I chose to create this podcast and my vision behind it. You'll hear why I decided to name the show Let's Get Tender. And you'll hear tips on how to grow your own money wings, plus much, much more. So without further ado, time to meet Rebecca Hall-Gruyter as she interviews me.
Welcome to Let's Get Tender, Money Conversations That Matter, a video podcast series with certified money coach Marlene Elizabeth, with amazing weekly guests who share their inner challenges, personal triumphs, and inside tips and strategies so you can prosper, lead, and love bravely in business and life. So get comfy and get ready to grow money wings.
Special person that I'm just honored to introduce to you and share. She is joining our network, the RHG-TV Network. We have the amazing Marlene Elizabeth that has joined us. I love Marlene. I'm very honored to have her joining us on the network. And I wanted to share a little bit about her because I have the honor of interviewing her on her very first show as she shares and unveils what you can look forward to in her powerful program, Let's Get Tender, Money Conversations That Matter. Marlene Elizabeth is a powerful money woman. She's the I would say, best-selling author, international best-selling author #1 in multiple countries of MONEYWINGS. She's helping people around the world grow their money wings one brave feather at a time. She is a master on our brain personalities, how that works so that we can be wired for success. She has a huge heart to help empower women in particular around money so they can grow and bring forward everything they're called to bring forward. So I want to officially warmly welcome the amazing Marlene Elizabeth to the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, what an introduction. Beautiful. I'm so excited to be here today to chat with you a bit more about my new podcast. Yes, I'm so excited.
Wonderful. Excited to have you here. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about why you felt this pull and this calling to touch people around the world, to bring this podcast forward. I'd love for you to share why and a little bit of your vision for what it's going to bring to the world.
Yes, so I've been working as a certified money coach, and in my practice, I've experienced that there's so much to learn about money. And of course, there's the practical aspect, but there's such a key missing piece. And that conversation really needs to take place in order for us to grow. And that key piece that's missing tends to be the spiritual aspect of money, the emotional side of money, the instinctive side of money. And so it's such a rich conversation. And so I really felt that I wanted to be able to provide this opportunity for folks to be able to tune in and grow, really truly grow in their relationship to money. And so I'm very excited to do this and globally around the world because it's a universal conversation. And I love that opportunity to be able to bring a wide community of people together, wide perspectives on this very, very important topic.
Oh, I love it. I can hear your passion and your desire to really help people powerfully in this area. And I'm curious about the title, Let's Get Tender, Money Conversations That Matter. Can you share a little bit of what inspired that title and what all you mean by Let's Get Tender?
Yes. So my title, Let's Get Tender, the word tender is kind of a play on words, tender being another word for legal tender. And I really wanted folks to see and be able to experience right from the beginning that this show is going to be different. When we look at money, we're going to be looking at it from a different perspective. And that I have found is really what makes all the difference in being able to put pieces together and be able to really, really thrive in our relationship to money, to really be able to thrive in how we manage money and how we see money, and how we're able to use this really beautiful resource in our life. And so I really wanted people to kind of see, oh, this is going to be different. Let's get tender. It also is about how we're going to be talking about, as we know, money stirs up all kinds of emotions in us. It's really a kind of conversation where we tend to be more reactive than responsive. And so I really want people to know that this is going to be that place where we can really talk about a lot of the things that come up when we talk about money. And so it's a place where we can feel safe to be vulnerable around this topic together, so we can lift each other up around this topic. And so, and I am very passionate about helping women around their relationship to money. And so it's all of that. It's about bringing together the strengths that we have as women around our finances as well.
Beautiful. And I want to underscore that you really see there are strengths as women that we particularly have around money, and we can tap into that. And you're creating a program and a show where it's safe, that we can grow, we can explore, we can really get support around that relationship with money and that emotional part around money. And I would love for you to share with us if you have a tip or a suggestion as we're getting ready to lean into that conversation to grow our money wings. What is a great place for us to start so we can get the most out of your program and tune in every week?
So one of the things that I really like to encourage people to do when they first start, kind of taking a look at their relationship to money is to start just taking a peek at what their money story is about. And one of my favorite questions, and you'll hear this a lot in the interviews that I do, is one of my standard questions is going to be, what was your first experience of money? It's often something we don't think about, but yet once we do take that time, take that pause and that moment to look back and say, what was my first experience of money? It is so important to know, because you'll find that it will, that experience tends to repeat in our life again and again and again. And if we're not aware of it, it can sometimes maybe sabotage us in ways that we don't know. But if we know and understand those patterns and beliefs, we can do something about it and change it. And that's a real big piece of this show as well, is the freedom to be able to change these things that no longer serve us.
Beautiful. So we're going to learn how to change some of those patterns, one, become aware of them, and how we can shift and change them a little bit. I've been observing in the background, you have this beautiful, ornate M and W, and I would love for you to share what that represents with us, because there may be curious viewers wondering, what does the M and W stand for?
Yes. So the M and W that I have behind me is a celebration. I just recently published my book, MONEYWINGS, and my whole journey started with founding my money coaching practice, which is what I call MONEYWINGS. And so the MW represents those two letters. And I'll be talking a lot about this book that I've recently published, inspired by my daughter. And so we'll be able to really be able to dive into a lot of the topics that I write about in my book.
I would love for you to share a little bit. You just mentioned that it was inspired by your daughter, this beautiful book, and I happen to know that you launched it on her birthday, and I'd love for you to share a little bit of what that was like launching and why you chose that day, and what it was like as you discovered it became a #1 bestseller in multiple countries. I'd love for you to share a little bit about that.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. So exciting. So You know, Money Wings was inspired by my daughter. I have an 11-year-old beautiful baby girl. And when I became a mom, I wanted two things very much in my life. I had a financial dream, and the financial dream was to be able to be a stay-at-home mom, as a single mom. And I really didn't want to miss a thing with my daughter. I did not want to have any schedule, dictating my time around her. I wanted to guide my own schedule. And I also wanted to raise a money smart daughter, because I knew that I had struggled in my own relationship to money, and I didn't want her to have to go through those challenges. And so Money Wings was really born around this passion that I had to be a stay-at-home mom and to raise a money smart girl. And so I decided to launch the book on her birthday. And yes, it became a #1 bestseller and an international bestseller too. And I couldn't be more honored and excited about it.
Oh, I love it. And I know you have these beautiful videos for anyone that wants to follow you on Facebook, that they can see each step of the way in that journey, when she was announcing the book, and then when it became bestseller, and when it became international bestseller. And you'll get to even see some video with her beautiful daughter. So for those of you who would like a behind the scenes view and experience of Marlene on that journey, I just wanted you to know those are available on her beautiful Facebook page. I don't know if you mind sharing how they could find that.
Oh, yes, absolutely. You can find that at Grow Money Wings. That's my Facebook. That's where you'll find me on Facebook. Yes, yes. And we had fun. That was quite a day. Yeah, my daughter was, she said, now I know what it feels like to be a twin. So it was a really great day. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I loved it. It was just a joy to watch it unfold and experience that with you. So congratulations again. That's just a huge, huge success. And it shows me how needed your message and this book and this program is needed around the world. And so I want to encourage all of our viewers, all of our listeners, to tune in every week, getting support from Marlene on the journey, that there's a safe place to learn, to grow, to pull back those layers that sometimes we can put, or we don't want to deal with money, so we push it in the closet instead of leaning in and becoming empowered in that. And so I'm very grateful for your program and your willingness to walk beside people in this powerful way, Marlene. We're really, really grateful. And I would love for you to share just a little bit about what someone will walk away with your book, and especially if they partner it with this amazing program that you're bringing.
Yeah, so it's a tender moment, when you realize that you could actually design your own relationship to money. It's an amazing opportunity to be free around your finances, and how many of us find ourselves in a place where we ask, how did I get here? This is not what I imagined. This is not what I dreamed for my financial life. And so the podcast and the book are really both two ways that I have created this opportunity for anyone who feels that need to find a safe place to grow, as you were saying, Rebecca, to talk about your relationship to money, to learn about your relationship to money, and to grow in it as well. I have found that sometimes when we finally do have the courage, and it does take courage to do this, I find that sometimes we don't have the support we need around us to continue on that journey. And so it's already hard enough sometimes to gather up that courage to look at our finances in a real authentic way. And so once we do that, we really do need that support to keep going on that journey. And so through my book and through this weekly podcast, I'm so honored and so excited to be able to be on that journey with you. And I'm also super excited to be on the RHG-TV Network. I mean, how exciting is that, right? I mean, I'm very excited to be on the Empowered Business channel. And yeah, I can't wait for you to join me in this journey.
Oh, well, we are thrilled and honored. You are exactly the type of person and program we love to bring forward, really bringing positive transformational messaging that can help people live on purpose and with purpose in an empowered way. So we're very honored to have you on the Empowered Business Channel. I know you're already touching so many people's lives, and we just get to amplify that and help you reach even more people. So very honored to be on this journey with you. And we've been talking about your book quite a bit, and I was just thinking there might be people listening saying, great, where do I find that? So I would love for you to share how they can find that book, and then we'll continue our conversation.
Absolutely, yes. So you can find Money Wings, Unfolding Your Financial Potential, One Brave Feather at a Time. You can find my book on Amazon, on Kindle, and also in print. And it's also available at Barnes & Noble's bookstores anywhere around the country. So very, very excited to be able to have the book available in those two venues. And of course, anytime I'm doing speaking engagements, I'll be having those available as well at my events. And I'll have my schedule on my website, which I'll share in a bit. And I'll also be doing Barnes & Noble book signings as well. So yeah. So very excited.
Beautiful, beautiful. Excited about that. So Amazon.com. It's also going to be available in Barnes & Noble bookstores. So you can always go and pick up a copy there as well. So that's really, really exciting. Congratulations. And I was wondering if you would give us a sneak peek, something that we could look forward to in the book and then also in your show.
Absolutely. So in the book, one of the things that I am very passionate about is entrepreneurship, especially for women. And so while you read Money Wings, you get to dive into taking a look at your own money story and maybe limiting beliefs that are holding you back in your relationship to money. And you get to learn these 8 success principles that I've developed and designed for around your relationship to money, but I've, can also be applied to other areas of your life. And then the book culminates with a very special chapter on entrepreneurship. And I have to say that this is a very, very exciting time for women, especially, to be able to join in this world of entrepreneurship, where you can create something that's around your passion and at the same time impact the world in such an incredible way. And so you can look forward to all that in the book. And then for the podcast, I will be bringing on guest experts every week. You'll be able to hear from a guest that will come on with me, and we'll have share a heartfelt money conversation, and they'll bring all their expertise into that conversation. And we're going to be talking about, as I mentioned, limiting money beliefs, our strengths, our gifts, our talents, spirituality, the intersection of money, and how neuroscience and behavioral finance and all these, areas of study are impacting our understanding around our relationship to money. And we're going to do this all in a very down-to-earth way, so that it's very easy and fun and practical for the listener and the viewer.
Beautiful. I'm very excited about both. And one of the things I loved about your book, you use these amazing quotes that are inspiring and encouraging throughout the book. And so it's like you're being carried on these beautiful wings, on this beautiful, Marlene becomes the wind, there we go, the wind beneath your wings, really lifting you up in this positive, creative, powerful way. So I found your book just amazing, and I know it's impacting so many people around the world, and it really raised some great questions to think about and ponder and explore in our own relationship with money. And then your show, I'm so excited about the guests that you have lined up, who you're bringing, who you're going to be sharing out with the world, and then weaving your amazing tips and insight into the conversation. You create such a loving, warm, safe, knowledgeable place for us to land, to come and learn. And I'd love to see if you had a tip or something you would like to share with our listeners today as they're getting ready to go back out into the world. Is there something on your heart that you want to share around empowering them on their journey with money?
Yes, you know, I find that so I have always been someone that has been an optimist, right? I mean, I see the world as a very beautiful, good place to be. And so I find that when we are able to take a look at this very tender subject of money, it can be such an opportunity for us to truly, truly enjoy everything that was meant for us to enjoy in this world, everything that we deserve to experience in this world. Finances are a very real, important, practical, everyday resource that we need in our life. And so I find that a lot of times I'll hear people say, you know, believe it's possible, believe it's possible. And I'm all for that because I am, as I said, I'm a very positive person. But you know what? I've learned along the journey that in my own money story, it's, I think, equally and sometimes even more important to be what's possible, be what's possible. And so I'm just very excited because I've really, on my own journey, I've learned a lot of very powerful, practical, inspirational, motivational strategies, tips, tools, resources, communities, people that I've met that I really feel will really empower you in your relationship to money. So I'm very, very excited about all of that.
I just can't wait for each new episode. So when do we tune in to watch? What day of the week will each new episode be released?
Yep, so the first episode will premiere on August 29th, and it will be a weekly show every Wednesday at 10 a.m. That's Pacific Standard Time. And again, as I mentioned, it will be on the RHG-TV Network on the Empowered Business channel.
Beautiful. And I know that you have a powerful host page so people can watch the archives. So if you're tuning in after shows have been released, I know you can go back to the beginning and watch all of Marlene's amazing programs. So we encourage you to do that. Share it with friends. And did you have any final thoughts or shares that you wanted to bring forward and let our viewers and listeners know about?
I just wanted just to say how excited I am to connect with each one of you through this wonderful medium that we have to connect with podcasting and this incredible technology. I'm just so excited and I just can't wait to hear your money stories and your money challenges and everything that you have. Your own financial dreams. I'm just very, very excited. This is an important conversation and I'm excited to link arms together so that we can continue to all grow together in our relationship to money.
Learning about our relationship to money includes the power of positivity as it relates to our untapped financial potential. I'd like to share a powerful lesson that I've learned about this. My daughter was born in Vancouver, Washington, a beautiful city with lots and lots of rain. Well, one day my mom bought a big, bright yellow plushy duck wearing a rain hat for our soon-to-be-born daughter. I later discovered that the duck had a button on its foot, and when pressed, the duck moved and sang, "Sing it in the rain, just sing it in the rain. What a glorious feeling. I'm," click heels, right? "Happy again." Well, I know this song so well because after my daughter was born, that duck eased her tears every time like magic. Well, it turns out that that song, "Singing in the Rain," was a top hit in 1929 when another very special baby was born, my grandma. My grandma is the first generation in our family to be born here in the United States. Well, her first year of life was during the Great Depression of 1929. And yet, like the song, she lives her life singing in the rain, meaning that she lives her life with a positive attitude and a sense of purpose and passion and a sense of her own power. This gives her the courage to endure all kinds of stormy weather. Well, my grandmother, she left elementary school to help support our family and her family after her father endured a job-ending head injury at work. Later in her life, she suddenly became a widow and a single mom at the age of 35. Yet, despite painful life events, she continually chose to celebrate life with beauty and dance and song and laughter, lots of laughter. She became a landowner in her 20s. She owned all the cars she's ever driven, owned all the houses she's ever lived in. How? Well, she worked in the same clothing factory for 35 years, and she taught herself how to manage the modest, very modest wages that she earned. But that's not all. My grandma's positivity and her natural gifts and strengths have helped her to create a happy life, financial ease, and well-being. Even to this day, her favorite quote is from Eleanor Roosevelt, who was 45 years old when my grandmother was born. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "Life is what you make it. Always has been and always will be." There's magic in choosing to sing in the rain. Today, science proves the power of positive thinking and the direct impact that it has on our health. Science reveals that our thoughts in our mind directly affect the chemical balance in our brain and in turn affects our bodies. Neuroscience offers tangible proof that we are born with natural talents and strengths to share in this world. This month, my grandmother turns 90 years old. She still lives independently in her own home. She still does her own shopping. She cooks her own meals. She does her own housekeeping. And yes, by her own choice, she still drives. I tell this story about my grandmother to share the passion in my heart for helping women, especially female entrepreneurs, transform their relationship to money by tapping into their positivity and into their natural talents and strengths and building a healthy relationship to money. And it's the reason that I became a certified brain personality specialist and a certified money coach. Everyone has a gift. Everyone has the power to move beyond their current circumstances into a happier, healthier, more prosperous life. One essential step you can take is to lean into what you're great at doing. One of the best ways to do that is to learn about your unique brain personality. Your brain is your most important asset, more important than your house, your bank account, and your stock portfolio. So, very, very quickly, you're about to learn the 4 powerful components that make up your brain personality. Now, there's so much to share here, but we're going to keep it super simple because of our limited time here together on the show. So, the 4 components of your brain personality. Number 1, your introversion-extroversion ratio. Okay, so what does that mean? Your introversion-extroversion ratio is basically how extrovert or introvert you are, right? So which one are you? Number 2, your brain gender. Men and women think and communicate and process information differently. That's really important to understand in our relationships and even when we are in business. Your communication and sensory preference is the third aspect that we're talking about here. It's basically your learning style, whether you're visual, auditory, kinesthetic, which one are you? And the 4th is your brain quadrant dominance. Your brain is divided into 4 quadrants. The left front side of your brain handles all your CEO boss actions, tasks, right? The left back side of your brain handles all your detail tasks, right? The right back side of your brain handles all your nurture activities, right? And then the front right side here of your brain handles all those innovator actions, right? All those progressive tasks. Now, how many of you have done a task that leaves you feeling totally drained, right? And yet other tasks feel life-giving and leave you feeling energized. You even lose track of time, right? It feels like play, Well, when we are in our genius zone, we expend very little energy. When we operate outside of our natural strengths, we use 100 times more brain energy. We're working way too hard. And this can lead to emotional, physical, and even spiritual health challenges. So, if you would like to learn more about living in your genius zone, head over to my website at marleneelizabeth.com/brain quiz. Thank you so much for joining me. See you next week for the next episode of Let's Get Tender.